We hope you will enjoy tonight's story, Snowfall and Second Chances.
They say you can't go home again. I used to think that was true. Leaving Evergreen Pines felt like stepping into a better, brighter future. The kind with skyscrapers, promotions, and the perfect city life. But here's the thing about life. It doesn't always go as planned. When I lost my job right before Christmas, I wasn't thinking about coming back here. I didn't want the memories or the questions or him. But Evergreen Pines has a way of surprising you. Turns out, the best gifts are the ones you never expect. Evergreen Pines. Quaint, cozy, and, let's be honest, a little too cheerful. As soon as I parked in front of the bakery, I knew Megan would be waiting for me, probably holding some peppermint mocha concoction I didn't ask for.
Holly Bennett, in the flesh, you're home. And you're exactly on time for a sugar rush. Courtesy of me, obviously.
Megan Turner, best friend since 5th grade. The kind of person who never takes no for an answer when it comes to baked goods or unsolicited advice. Hey, Megan. Thanks, I guess. Okay, I'll admit it. This is really good.
You're welcome. Now, let me guess. You're already planning your escape?
That obvious?
Oh, Holly, this is exactly where you need to be. You just don't know it yet.
And then there he was. Lucas Gray, Evergreen Pines golden boy turned grumpy tree farmer. And right on cue, his dog Jack, who I swear had more manners than his owner.
Jack, come on, boy.
Oh, look who it is. You still train your dog better than your personality, Lucas.
And you're still the same Holly, charming as a snowstorm.
Classic Lucas. Always ready with a jab, always so sure he knew everything. We'd been rivals since middle school, and apparently some things never change. The tree lighting ceremony, the unofficial start to Christmas in Evergreen Pines. And of course, Lucas had to be there, looking annoyingly at home while I froze in my city coat.
Didn't expect to see you here, city girl.
Didn't expect to be here.
Guess neither of us got what we wanted.
The exchange was frosty, no pun intended. But that's Lucas for you. Stubborn as the evergreens he's so determined to save. And then it happened. A freak snowstorm left the town square in shambles. Trees knocked over, decorations destroyed, and the parade, the town's biggest tradition, at risk of being canceled.
Holly and Lucas, I'm putting you two in charge of saving this parade. The town is counting on you.
Wait, us? Together?
You've got to be kidding me.
It was the last thing either of us wanted. But in Evergreen Pines, saying no wasn't really an option. I came back to Evergreen Pines because I didn't have a choice. What I didn't realize was that this little town, with its snow-covered trees and stubbornly charming traditions, had a way of giving you exactly what you didn't know you needed. Even if that included Lucas Gray. Working with Lucas was like trying to decorate a Christmas tree with someone who only wanted to argue about the lights. The floats need to look festive, not like they came out of a lumberyard.
Festive? Is that your fancy city word for overcomplicated and expensive?
Every decision was a battle, from which trees to use to what color ribbon to tie on them. Red and gold are traditional.
Oh, well, if it's traditional, we wouldn't want to break the sacred laws of Christmas decorating.
At least Jack agrees with me. Somehow, his dog always knew when to step in. Jack had this way of breaking the tension, usually by knocking over the nearest pile of decorations. Jack!
Good boy, Jack.
For a moment, we'd laugh. And then it was back to arguing. Let me guess. This happens all the time?
Only when I have company I don't want.
The truck broke down on a tree scouting trip, in the middle of nowhere, with a snowstorm rolling in. Thanks.
Don't mention it.
For once, he wasn't making jokes or arguing. We just talked. I was so sure moving to the city was the right thing to do. Now I'm not even sure who I am anymore.
You're not the only one. I'm supposed to carry on this family legacy. But what if I can't?
In that moment, Lucas wasn't the guy who always got under my skin. He was just Lucas. At least Jack has it all figured out.
Yeah, he's the smart one.
Back in town, we regrouped at Megan's bakery. Lucas and his dad Sam were there, brainstorming ideas for the parade.
Holly, good to see you again. Maybe you can talk some sense into this one.
I wouldn't count on it. But as we worked together, I started to see a different side of Lucas. His dedication to the town, his determination to make this work. What if we used your farm as a centerpiece? A float with the town's history, showing what makes Evergreen Pines special?
That's actually a good idea.
Hearing him say that felt like winning the lottery. What's this? Lucas handed me a small wooden replica of the city skyline.
You said it's your favorite view. Thought it might work for the float.
I didn't know what to say. Lucas Gray, of all people, had remembered something about me. Every moment we spent together, it felt like the walls between us were melting, like the snow outside the barn. Okay, Jack, hold still. You're the star of this photo shoot.
You're really going all out, huh?
Someone's got to market your farm properly. We were a team, at least for now. And for the first time in years, Evergreen Pines felt like home. I came back because I had nowhere else to go. But as the days passed, I started to wonder, maybe this was exactly where I was meant to be. Hello?
Holly, it's Cynthia. Listen, I've got fantastic news. There's a position opening up at the firm, and we want you back.
Oh, wow, Cynthia, that's really unexpected. Can I have some time to think about it?
Of course, but we'll need an answer soon.
So you're going back to the city.
What? No, I haven't decided.
You don't have to explain. Guess some things never change.
It was just a phone call. But to Lucas, it was confirmation of everything he already believed about me.
Holly, sweetie, you can't keep running from things that scare you. Not from this town, not from Lucas, and definitely not from yourself.
I'm not running. I'm just keeping my options open.
You care about him. Anyone can see that. The question is, what are you going to do about it?
You know, my boy's got a hard head, but his heart's in the right place. He's just afraid of losing what he loves.
I didn't need them to spell it out for me. They'd both missed their own chance at love once, and neither of them wanted us to make the same mistake. All right, everyone, let's make this fundraiser unforgettable.
Holly's whipped us into shape. Now it's time to show Lucas how much this town appreciates him.
I didn't care about the parade or even the job offer. I just wanted Lucas to see what he meant to all of us. To me.
What is all this?
Your community, and your chance to keep the farm going. I couldn't let you lose something you love. Evergreen Pines, I have an announcement to make. I'm staying. This town, this community, it's my home.
You're really staying?
For good. Lucas didn't say anything at first. He didn't need to. His smile said it all. Jack, really?
Smartest one in the room.
Merry Christmas, Lucas. One year later, the farm was thriving, the Christmas festival was bigger than ever, and Jack was officially the town mascot. Lucas and I ran the farm together. It wasn't the life I'd planned, but it was the one I never knew I wanted.
You're talking to yourself again.
Just reflecting.
Well, reflect on this. Ryan and Megan are about to annihilate us at charades.
Sometimes life gives you second chances, and when it does, you'd better take them. Merry Christmas, Evergreen Pines.
And with that, our story comes to an end.